salary board meeting to order. Roll call, Jen.
Commissioner Duplico.
Present.
Commissioner Herzler.
Here.
Commissioner Eichelberger. Controller Whitcomb.
Here.
Thank you, Jen. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve salary board action?
I'll make a motion to approve the actions.
Is there a second? Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of salary board minutes for July 16th.
I'll make a motion to approve the July 16th minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any other business to be brought in front of the salary board? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Or adjourn? Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. Call the Board of Commissioners meeting to order. We have a roll call, Jen.
Commissioner Duplico.
Present.
Commissioner Herzler.
Present.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Thank you, Jen. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve meeting minutes of July 12th and July 16th?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of July 12 and July 16.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments on those minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of public safety minutes from June 27th. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of personnel transactions. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the personnel transactions.
Second. See, questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of budget resolution 2018-20. Is there a motion? For approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of contracts and grants. 8 road numeral 1 and 8 road numeral 2. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the contracts and grants.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval to award contract for the bridge debris removal and guardrail repair to Bears Barnett General Construction LLC in the amount of $62,962.84. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of donations for the 2018 LEPC Sarah Summit. First one is Ace Drone Services LLC for $250. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the donation to the LEPC Sarah Summit.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next one is for classic dry cleaners and laundromats for $250. Is there a motion? Move for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next are capital project requests. First one is Claremont Nursing and Rehab Center for curtains for hallways and common areas. Total cost $16,005.65. Is there a motion?
Make a-
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next one is for the Court Administrator Office, Divorce Master's Office, security upgrades and carpet. Total project cost of $16,660.53. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of general disbursements, transfer authorizations, items 12A through K. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the discussion and approval of a declaration of disaster emergency in Cumberland County. Robert.
Yes, Commissioners. Based on the weather last week, and we had looked at the weather on Wednesday and talked about things at the review team meeting. At that point, they were predicting that the crests were going to be pretty close to flood stage and maybe just over flood stage. Things were doing pretty well within the county. Some of the lower lying areas were seeing some minor flooding, but then Wednesday afternoon, we had the cell that kind of sat still, dropped several inches of rain in the Newville, West Pennsboro area, and conditions obviously worsened Wednesday afternoon. And as pumping details and things like that occurred Wednesday night, Thursday, and even as we did damage assessment and assisted with coordination throughout the day, Thursday and Friday, there was a lot more damage widespread across the county than maybe everyone had expected. So with that, we are recommending that we do a disaster declaration, both to support if there's any disaster funding becomes available, as well as to continue the efforts to help the residents recover. I know there is widespread damage to some of those residents, both from electrical, AC units. Again, people are still trying to pump some basements, and restoration to be able to try and clean up the damages. So,
Thank
any
you.
questions?
Any questions?
I know West Pennsboro, we had 48 residents that we made dispatches to. Locally, they were taking calls at the station, and I think we're going to see probably maybe 80 or more. Newville was pretty widespread if you saw any of the pictures from that. But again, flash flooding, and they are calling for additional flash flooding, potentially from some rain, maybe 1 to 2, 3 inches over the next couple of days. So.
First of all, I want to compliment the personnel at our public safety department, and also especially our first responders, throughout the county who are always there 24/7 anytime there's an emergency. And we did have some serious situations. I know that each one of our municipalities, we have an emergency management coordinator. The bottom line on this is to essentially put in place the declaration that needs to be put in place in case there may be some federal funding and or state funding. I guess it would be state funding that might be made available to help recover some of the costs that were incurred by our municipalities. And so I appreciate what you've done here. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the declaration of disaster emergency in Cumberland County.
Is there a second?
I'll echo those comments at the second.
Any further questions or comments? Thanks, staff, Bob, and my colleagues on the board here for getting this together. And all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to report executive session was held on July 26th at 10:10 a.m. to review personnel issues. Also like to report that the monthly report for the Register of Wills for the month of June was accepted. Is there any other business to be brought before the Board of Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I appreciate this, your indulgence. A couple of weeks ago, and I think I've shared a copy of this with my colleagues, but Sunoco Limited had been requested to attend a meeting in Lower Frankfort Township to address concerns from residents with respect to the Mariner 2 line, but also the Mariner 1 line. And in any event, they were no-show at the meeting after they had told the residents that they were going to be there, and told the supervisors of Lower Frankfort Township that they were going to be there. I had the chance to speak with Lower Frankfort Township Supervisor, here, Carol, that's just kind of take another look at the article. Jim Burkholder this morning, and he told me that he and his colleagues had a room full of constituents who were expecting to have an opportunity to ask Sunoco Limited officials some questions and get some answers to those questions. A lot of them had to do with safety concerns, but the Sunoco Limited folks had called an hour or so before the meeting to say that they just said that they would not be there. I don't know that there was any explanation given to the lower Frankfurt Township supervisors as to why they couldn't attend the meeting that had been previously scheduled. So but because of this apparent difficulty, I asked Chairman Burkholder if he would be interested, subject to the concurrence of my colleagues, Commissioner Eichelberger, Commissioner DeFilippo, if the county would reach out and get in touch with the Sunoco Limited folks and host the meeting, since I know that they were here in contact with our county planning department early on, if we had any questions or concerns. So Chairman Burkholder said that he's having a discussion with his solicitor, but said that Laura Frankfurt may very well be interested if we would extend that offer. And I told him that I would be bringing it up at today's commissioners meeting, and if you guys are okay with it, I'd like to come back to Supervisor Burkholder. I have to tell you that I don't think any of us like it when it appears the big and powerful special interests think that they can just blow off and or ignore the concerns of the little people, I'll say. In this case, the real life, health, and safety concerns of the good citizens of one of our county's smallest municipalities. So maybe the Sunoco Limited folks need to know that the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners stands behind the Lower Frankfurt Township Board of Supervisors and believes the concerns of the people of Lower Frankfurt Township deserve to be given top priority and attention and not just swept under the rug and ignored. So, folks, if you're okay, then I'll get back on it. I did have a conversation with Kirk Stoner about this before. And my thought would be is that if we arrange a meeting, that we could maybe do it in the evening out at the Allen Road facility and hopefully bring the parties together. But at this point in time, I'll just extend the offer on behalf of our board, if you guys are okay with it, to Supervisor Burkholder. Let them know that if they still want us to, that we'll be happy to try to arrange a meeting, to get the Sunoco Limited folks here.
Solicitor see any problems? No.
My own concern. No, good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other business to be brought from the board? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Sure.